Prostration can be practiced to the object of refuge or as part of the Guru Yoga. It is one of the best methods for purifying the seeds of unskillful karma, particularly of physical karma. It is effective against karmic obstacles, afflictions, and especially counteracts pride. So if you do prostrations, it will destroy ego, it will destroy pride. Then the meaning of the Tibetan term chakse, or the word for prostration is chakse. It means requesting a hand. Requesting whose hand? Not your girlfriend's, requesting Buddha's hand. His virtuous qualities of the body, the speech, and the mind. You are requesting his body, his speech, and mind. There are two methods of prostration involving either 3 or 4 centers in one. We touch the crown of the head, the forehead, the neck, and the chest. In the other, simply the crown, neck, and the chest are touched. And this is also considered sufficient. If we do prostrations by touching 3 points, then the crown symbolizes our desire to attain Buddha's body, the neck, his speech, and the chest, his mind. To obtain these 3, we must master wisdom and means both inseparably united. As we touch the 3 centers, our hands symbolize this. There are different ways of joining the palms, but in Mahayana tradition, the thumbs are tucked in gem-holding gesture. We may prostrate either by placing only the knees, forehead, and palms on the ground, or by making full prostrations in which the whole body touches the ground and the arms are outstretched. If there is sufficient space, it is always better to perform full prostrations, in which case it is important to rise quickly. The correct time to rest when making prostrations is after rising and not when one is on the ground. As in all things, we should take care of and follow the proper procedures because the consequences of knowing a rule yet transgressing it are serious. In this case, to rest on the ground out of laziness may result in an unfortunate rebirth. On rising, the palm should be flat on the ground. Using the knuckles as a means of support shows disrespect toward the object of prostration because it is lazy and may result in rebirth as an animal with hooves. Prostration, if practiced incorrectly, is harmful, just as food, which is meant for our nourishment, if wrongly used, can be cause of death. The performance of full prostrations is more beneficial since the merit accumulated equals the atoms in the earth beneath the outstretched body. So if you're tall, if you're fat, if you're huge, you collect more merit, so you should rejoice. If they are done correctly with the proper intention, then the merit acquired may result in rebirth as a Chakravartin king. In the Manjushri Vikri, the sutra taught by the Buddha to Manjushri himself, the benefit of skillful prostrations and the bad effects of unskillful ones are discussed in great detail. Since prostrations are a powerful means of creating merit, we may infer that our failure to enjoy their potential effect is caused by either by our incorrect practice or by strong manifestation of afflictions which counteracts the seeds of skillful karma. In the sutra given by the Buddha to Manjushri directly, he mentions hatred as being the most destructive of all afflictions since it annihilates all skillful karma that has been accumulated. When making prostrations, one should recite the Chikanta Sutra, a form of confession which mentions the name of the 35 Tathagatas and the ways in which transgress the Buddha's teachings. This is the names of 35 particular Buddhas, especially Buddha Shakyamuni. When recited in conjunction with prostrations, is a very powerful purification method. But let's not learn that sutra is not necessary. When you do your prostrations, you can recite Namo Gurube, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, the refuge formula. While you're doing the prostrations, if you recite the refuge formula and take refuge constantly, you'll be fulfilling 2 preliminaries at once. You will fulfill the refuge preliminary of 100,000 and the prostration preliminary of 100,000 simultaneously. Or you can do Vajrasattva's mantra while you're prostrating. Or you can recite any mantras. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Arabasanadi, Om Tari Tari Torisa, Mimete Vetin Tenesi Gumijama, Om Jamaya, Duva Man, John Samada Kanji Gamuka, Basantavi, Shala Sawande, Om Agrubida Sumidikis Sitting Home, Om Wangidra Kaza, Om Bajapani Home, Om Bajapani Home. Any mantra that you want. Best is, since prostration is a purification practice, to recite any of the purificatory mantras, purification mantras such as Vajrasattva. Even if you can do the short Vajrasattva while you're prostrating, Om Vajrasattva Home. Better to do the long, more beneficial. So, or refuge, any one that you like. It takes about 40 prostrations to complete on recitation, of which one begins again. The body makes the physical movements. By repeating the sutra, we make prostrations of speech, and our deep respect toward the object of refuge constitutes mental prostration. If we practice in this way, we make prostrations through all 3 doors and not merely with the body. It is wise to begin with 50 prostrations, gradually increasing to 100, then to 150, and so forth. Otherwise, the only result will be exhaustion, which is not the intended purpose. I know all the great masters, no matter how highly realized, take prostrations as one of their main paths. My root guru, His Eminence Jisun Jamba Yishi Khyentse Rinpoche, wakes up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, and he does his meditations until 6, has his breakfast. After breakfast, a simple light breakfast, he does his prayers again until 10 and meditations until 10. At 10, he gives audience to people, whoever wants to see him, to consult him for divinations or for advice, whatever, until around lunch. After lunch, he takes a short nap because he wakes up very early, about 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how heavy his schedule was in the morning. After all afternoon, he teaches over 500 to 600 monks daily, giving them classes. So all afternoon, he teaches till the evening, until dinner. After dinner, he goes up, does his prayers, and until 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, he goes for circumambulation around the whole monastery, which is quite a long walk. And he circumambulates around the monastery, circumambulating around hundreds of stupas, hundreds of images of Buddha and Jetongaba and Tara and all the holy lamas and all the holy gurus and Trijang Rinpoche's house, Song Rinpoche's house, Para Rinpoche's house, also Segon Rinpoche's house, and also the Dalai Lama's residence, the Buddha statues. So he circumambulates around and around. It's quite a long walk. Some of us have been to the monastery, so you understand the vastness and the great. Because our monastery has about 2,000 monks. So it's quite a huge, huge monastery where we reside. So Rinpoche circumambulates around that for about 45 minutes and comes back and he does prostrations for a half hour straight, every single full-length prostrations until 10. And then he goes to sleep in the lion posture. And then he wakes up in the morning at 3:30 a.m. every single day. So Rinpoche, being a very highly realized master, Rinpoche has done a 3-year retreat in which he has recited over 100 million Manjushri mantras. 100 million. Not 1 million. 100 million. So such a great master such as Rinpoche, who has recited 100 million. Forget 100 million. We're lucky if we recite 100 in a week. Rinpoche has recited. In the fire puja, he has done over 100,000. It took him 1.5 months to do it. And his arms were swollen from doing the fire puja to complete his retreat. So there's no doubt that His Eminence Jisun Jamba Yishi is a fully enlightened being, fully indivisible from Manjushri. Sometimes from his mouth, he slips and tells me some dreams he has and he stops halfway. But I have seen by his activities that he's a fully enlightened being, actually. So even a fully enlightened being, such an advanced being like Rinpoche, does prostrations. What need do we have to say more for people like me, Cheesecake Rinpoche, Spaghetti Rinpoche? Definitely, we have to do prostrations to purify. Definitely. So highly enlightened beings like that, teach it and explain it. We should definitely do it. His Holiness, the great Avalokiteshvara, Dalai Lama, does prostrations every single day. I saw a picture of what he does from morning to night. And also I saw the prostrations and prayers and what kind of meditation he does. And I read about it in his biography. Every single day, not one day passes by where His Holiness the Dalai Lama does not do prostration. He is an enlightened being. He's not doing prostrations because he's purifying anything. He's giving us an example of what we should do. He does prostrations every single day, and mandala offerings, and vajrasattva, and purification practices, and his regular meditation, and teaches, and meditates, and sees people all day long and all night long. Every single day. There's not one day passes that these great beings do not prostrate to the Buddhas. Prostration is one of the best ways for destroying one's pride. Prostration is one of the best ways for purifying the negative karma associated with the body. In fact, when all medicine fails, when medical treatment fails, in Tibet, the high lamas will do divination and they'll make their students do 100,000 prostrations. Upon completion, they are well. Many times, many times, because you purify the negativities of your body. Therefore, you will get freedom of bodily problems. Definitely. So if one cannot do 100,000, one should try to do at least 21 a day, 7 a day, 3 a day, minimum 3 a day. Upon waking, immediately do 3 prostrations to your guru and your altar to Buddha, the Dharma, Sangha with refuge. Before you go to sleep, the last action you should do is 3 prostrations. The last action. The last action should not be putting toner on your face, but the last action is 3 prostrations before you go to sleep. The first action you wake up in the morning is not to see if your husband came home from his late night or to see if your wife had come home. That's not should be your first action. Or we wake up and go, oh, coffee. Or wake up, oh, coffee. Or wake up, bank. Or wake up, how much money do I have? Not like that. The minute we wake up, prostration. 3 prostrations to the 3 jewels, and you start off your day with Dharma. Before you go to sleep, after toner, 3 prostrations immediately. Immediately, you do 3 prostrations and go to sleep. Your last action was a Dharma action. And in between, as much as you can. When you meet your teacher, when you go greet your teacher, 3 prostrations immediately. If you have difficulties and you have problems in doing prostrations in front of people or to your teacher, it shows very strong pride. It shows very strong ego. Very, very strong. If you have health problems or you have some kind of problems you cannot, a prostration can be just folding your hands and bowing to your teacher. That is a prostration. It's the mental state. Not prostrating to your teacher upon seeing him and upon leaving, before teachings and after teaching, is a sign of very heavy, very strong ego. And not destroying the ego will keep you in samsara. It's very easy. So you are destroying ego, you are destroying pride. By showing prostration and respect to your teacher. If you don't respect the teacher who gives you Dharma, who will you respect? So prostration to the three jewels, prostration to your teacher is very powerful, to a correct object of refuge. But you should never prostrate to spirits and demons, and you should never ever prostrate to ordinary monks. Never. Because once you prostrate to them, your refuge vows degenerate. If your best friend is a great prime minister, you need to make friends with the local police. You need to make friends with the local magistrates. If they make any problems, you just show them here and you shaking hands with the singer and say hello. They completely calm down. So if you have made friends with the prime minister of samsara, Buddha, you need to make friends with small little ministers that run around, the spirits and demons and the people who run around the oracles. I'm this, I'm Kuan Yin, I'm Buddha, I'm he, I'm her, I know everything. Don't need to make friends with them. Useless. So prostration, by prostrating with the correct attitude, thinking about the qualities of Buddha. One is prostrating from the mind. Thinking about Dharma suggests one is prostrating from the mind. By actually doing the physical prostration, one is purifying the negativities of the body. By actually reciting Vajrasattva mantra or refuge, one is purifying the speech. So by prostrating, you are purifying your body, your speech, and your mind simultaneously. And collecting the potential to achieve the body, the speech, and mind of the Buddha. And the object should be a Buddha. You don't have to be in front of the altar. When you're traveling, you're in a hotel, whatever, you can visualize your guru, or you can visualize the Buddha there and prostrate to them. No problem. No problem. So prostration is the faith. And remember that only the Buddha can free you from negative states of mind and negative suffering. There are two types of prostration, the long length prostration and then the short. If you're engaging in a prostration retreat, one should do the long one. And then if you're just doing it when you meet your guru and your teachers, you can do the short one. So doing prostrations correctly can purify a lot of negative karma associated with the body, a lot of negative karma associated with the body. And one can also purify along with that negative states, a negative karma associated with the speech and the mind, definitely. The object is a fully enlightened Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. So before you see your teacher, immediately you should prostrate. After you leave, when you finish, you should prostrate, a correct student. But if you get close with your teacher, the minute you see him, the minute he comes out the bathroom, or the minute he walks out to the kitchen, prostrate. No necessary. You can always prostrate even in your mind. Respect for your teacher is prostration. You don't have to get fanatical. You know, the minute you see him, you're prostrate. It becomes crazy. You go out on the street, you go shopping, you go to Jaya Jesco and your teacher goes in, you come out, the minute you see him, you're prostrate. That's crazy. You don't need to do like that. You don't need to get fanatical about it. You know, no need to do that. Or your teacher runs to the room, the minute you come out, you prostrate again. No. And also, you should do it with wisdom. If you're among people who don't accept it and see it as funny or whatever, not out of pride, you don't need to do it. You prostrate from your mind. Not to make a spectacle of yourself. Not that you don't believe in your guru. Not because you don't have faith. You don't make a spectacle to protect other people's minds. Prostration is an incredible, wonderful way to purify the negative karma. There's a right way of doing it. There's a wrong way of doing it. I will show you the right way. Not that I'm doing it the right way, but I've learned it from my holy gurus, who is infallible, who has learned it from their holy gurus, their gurus, and their gurus up to the time when Buddha first taught it originally. It is an excellent practice to purify the negativities of the body, the speech, and the mind, especially the body. Especially the body. And it's excellent, and it will destroy your pride and your ego. Always. Do we have any questions? Basically, we're finished. Oh, that's a very good question. Actually, the minute you get up, out of respect, you brush, prostrate, wash is okay. But most of us, after we wash, we prostrate, not convenient. The minute you get up, you prostrate out of faith. So whether you brush the teeth before or after doesn't make a difference. It's the mind. That's a very good question. Usually when we go to the altar, we have washed and brushed and bathed, and then we go to the altar. So what she's asking is okay. If you want to brush your teeth first out of respect, that's okay. Because when you're prostrating, you're breathing, maybe don't go like that. So okay. Any more questions? Oh, the guru is the Buddha. Yes, the Buddha Shakyamuni. You don't need to have a initiation to have a guru. And you do not need a guru to prostrate. The ultimate guru is Guru Shakyamuni. So you prostrate to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So the guru is Shakyamuni, the Buddha is Shakyamuni, the Dharma is speech, and the Sangha is his holy body. That's fine. If you don't have an altar, you visualize the Buddha. No. The fact that you have a Buddha there, and the fact the form is a Buddha is already blessed. And if you have the opportunity to bring it to your guru and further bless it, it's wonderful. But just because he hasn't blessed it doesn't mean it's not blessed. Buddha is Buddha, regardless. I remember one Tibetan man brought a small pendant of Tara to Rinpoche, and he got a nice yelling. Rinpoche said to him, he said, could you bless it? And Rinpoche said, because it has the form of the holy Buddha Tara, the female goddess, it's already blessed. There's nothing I can do for it. And he kicked them out and takes them out. Yes, actually.